I saw Bruce Lee, I knew what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Florida was such a change from England. It was such an amazing place that I kind of lost my way for a while and just got lost in enjoying myself in the tourist lifestyle. Obviously, I did get involved in acting classes there. So that's where I got my first start in the business, doing commercials, doing some industrials. I actually worked on Miami Vice, the original TV series. A friend of mine was going to the Philippines, and they took a tape of me training, showing my martial arts training, and showed it to some directors and producers in the Philippines. And there was one director there that was very interested, said, wow, this guy, if you bring him to the Philippines, we could make him a star, so to speak. So I saved up what little money I had, and I flew myself to the Philippines. But 2 years was long enough. I had 2 fantastic years there, but it was time to move back to LA, back to America, and eventually to LA, and try and get my career on track. And so fortunately, the experiences that I'd had actually working on films in the Philippines was enormously helpful for me, because I'd been doing acting classes in Florida, which kind of prepares you, gives you the right mindset, but it really didn't prepare me for actual working on set. So it was great that I could go do some of these smaller films in the Philippines as a lead actor, and get some of the mistakes out of the way, and to learn a lot. Every time you're on a set, it's like going to film school. So by the time I came back to America and moved to LA, I had a bit of a grounding, of a much better foundation. So, you know, it was like starting all over again once I came to America, but at least I had a promotional package that I could present to people. And that proved to be a turning point for me. I got my SAG card on a martial arts film there, and my career just went from strength to strength for the next 15, 16, 17 years. But it's later in my career, actually, just a couple of years ago, that I got involved with some film students in Los Angeles. Actually, it was through, I'd met a young Thai lady at the American Film Festival who had just signed up for a year at the New York Film Academy in Los Angeles, and I became friends with her. And once she started school, I started helping her more and more, getting involved with her and some of the students at the film school. So I actually ended up producing short films and acting in some of the short films that she was directing for the New York Film Academy. So it was very interesting for me to see the whole process of how a film student starts learning about the film business and graduates to actually writing, directing and producing their own films. And actually I was very impressed with the whole process. I mean, I've been thrown in at the deep end straight into doing feature films. And there was one point when, you know, personally for myself, I aspired to be a director, and there was one point, maybe 5, 6 years ago, when I'd spoken to a producer that I'd done some films for, and I mentioned to him that I'm thinking of going to film school. I'd like to learn a little bit more about the business so I can direct my own films. And he said to me, Gary, are you crazy? You've done 30, 40 films. You probably know more about filmmaking than most of these filmmakers, especially even the guys who teach at film school maybe haven't done as much as you. And you don't really realize how much you've learned and taken in subliminally. So when I started helping these film students, I actually learned how much I knew about the film industry and how much I could help them and pass on to them about camera angles, lenses, editing, directing. It was a pleasant surprise for me to realize how much I had taken in over the years subliminally, and I could help these film students. And it's good because I still aspire to be a director.
So would you think making a short film is a good way to start your career as a director?
I think it's an incredibly important and wonderful way to start your career, because it actually starts giving you some real life experience. You learn about pre-production, you learn about writing a script, obviously all the aspects of pre-production, hiring a crew, finding locations. It teaches you all of this. Once you're on the set, of course, you have to learn to communicate with your crew, you have to learn to communicate with actors, you have to learn what shots work, what shots don't work. And then once you get into your post-production, you see what footage you've got, and you're like, wow, I needed this, I should have done that, or oh, this is great, this all works. So it's a wonderful grounding for setting yourself up to direct features. There's no better learning experience. If you don't shoot short films, it's almost like learning to swim on dry land. You have to get in the water eventually. And shooting a short film gives you that experience and that grounding to set you up for feature films, definitely.